Welcome to the Resairchia YouTube channel. My name is Jorge, and in this video I will show you how to connect a dashboard or browser app generated with DAS and your simulation results. This is a very nice option. For example, if you have a business presentation or you want to discuss a system with your colleagues. Definitely more attractive than plain code. First, I want to show the links to the DAS package. You will find them in the description below as well. It is important to start by taking a look to the documentation to see what you can find and what might be interesting and the kind of examples or tutorials available. There are many tutorials, guides and examples on internet about the DAS package. There's even examples on GitHub and so on. Let's move now to the example itself to see how we can do it. Let's say you have been working on some kind of model. For example, the pendulum available in the Modia documentation. You have been working on the values for your parameters, initializing your variables, and the collection of equations that you want to use. You are happy now with your simulation and you want to use this code. And, for example, in your presentation you want to use, let's say, your angular velocity. So, we will take this model and start by transforming it into a Julia function. In this video I will be using Notepad++ to be able to see the Julia code better. You will recognize here your pendulum model. Then we continue with the different functions that we need to use to run a Modia model, and then I have included the show info function to print the information about the result. Next, you can see that I have included the Modia model into a function called pendulum simulator. This function takes x and y as inputs, being x the length of the pendulum and y its mass. Then we use getValues to return the vector with the values from the simulation results. Finally, we use end to close the function. To continue with our DAS app, we will be using, as you can see, DAS, and then following the tutorials online, we will define our app and its layout. In the layout, we will have an input for the pendulum length, next another input for the pendulum mass, and a label before it as well. Then we will have a button that when we click on it, it will generate the plot, and then the figure that we will show, the angular velocity. Now we will add the callback for our app, being the output, our angular velocity figure, the input, the click of our button, and when we click the button we will take the state, or in other words, the value of the length and the mass of the pendulum. And then we finish the callback with the necessary code. We include the different things that our callback will do. In this case, it will call the pendulum simulator function with the different values and return an updated figure, as you can see with the pendulum results. Notice that we can give a title and so on to the figure. And then, last but not least, we add the run server command that will run our app listening at a certain address that we specify. Now we copy all the code and paste it directly in Julia. When we execute it, we will be able to run our browser app. As you can see, Julia is already listening. But to access our app, we need to use this value over here, and then we simply access it using the web browser. And here, as you can see, it's our app. Then we can simply change the values and click on plot to generate different figures. As you can see, this is a more appealing way of presenting results and also more efficient than changing lines of code every time we want to generate a new plot. In this example, I have been using Modia as usual. However, you can do the same using Modeling Toolkit. Modeling Toolkit is another very interesting causal modeling language. I do not have any kind of preference between Modia or Modeling Toolkit. I just simply use Modia because it's closer to Modelica and I'm more comfortable with it. However, I've been following Modeling Toolkit for a while and I've noticed how they have been improving it a lot, which makes it very attractive, especially when using its standard library. As you can see, their standard library has already a lot of options, which is very useful for modeling and simulation. Moreover, I have also found about this package called Modeling Toolkit Designer, which allows to use a drag and drop user interface for modeling, which is very useful when we are using components because it allows us to see the different connections. For all these reasons, I think it's interesting to learn about Modeling Toolkit, so I will also be doing videos about it in the future. This is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching and see you in future videos.